All right, let's just get right into it. Pretty much every single healthcare organization on the planet audits hand hygiene. I mean, it's a cornerstone of patient safety, right? But what if I told you that we've been looking at the wrong numbers? That our whole system of measurement has been creating a really dangerous illusion of safety. You see a number like this, 93.2%. In most hospitals, a hand hygiene compliance rate this high gets you a pat on the back. It's the kind of number you put up on a poster. It just screams success, doesn't it? It says, hey, we're doing our jobs, we're protecting our patients. But is it really? Is just doing something at the right moment the same thing as doing it well? What if that beautiful 93.2% is actually hiding a much, much more troubling reality? Well, here's that reality. The very same study found that when you look at the quality of the hand hygiene, only 8.5% of those actions were done correctly. Yeah, you heard that right. That means for every 10 times somebody cleaned their hands, 9 of those times it was done wrong. This, my friends, is what we're calling the great compliance illusion. It's this widespread, almost institutional belief that a high compliance score automatically equals effective infection prevention. But as the data clearly shows, we've been so focused on measuring the gesture, we've completely forgotten about the impact. So how in the world did we get here? Well, this whole illusion is basically built on a fundamental mix-up between two very different ideas, quantity and quality. And understanding this difference is really the first step to tearing that illusion down. On one hand, you've got compliance. This is the what. It's a simple checkbox question. Did you do it at the right time? That's what pretty much all of our audits focus on. But then you have the other side of the coin, the really important side, quality. This is the how. How well did you do it? Was the technique right? Was every bit of the hand covered? Did you do it for long enough? And look, quality isn't some fuzzy, abstract idea. It's totally measurable. We're talking about using the right amount of soap or sanitizer, performing all the right steps, and making sure you cover every single surface of your hands. This is the very definition of effective hand hygiene. And hey, this isn't just a theory I'm floating. This is the cold, hard conclusion from a massive systematic review of 40 different studies. The core problem is crystal clear. Our obsession with compliance has let poor quality just fly under the radar, and that creates a really dangerous false sense of security. Okay. So if quality is the real issue, then you've got to ask, where exactly are we going so wrong? Why are dedicated, smart, well-meaning professionals failing at something that, let's be honest, seems so basic? This is the gold standard, right? The WHO six-step technique. It's designed to be this perfect, methodical process that guarantees your hands are completely clean. In a perfect world, every single time we cleaned our hands, it would look exactly like this. But we don't live or work in a perfect world. The reality is our hands are often left with all these missed spots where germs can just hang out and thrive. It's actually shocking. Some studies have found that up to 95% of people are missing these critical areas, even when they think they're doing a great job. So where are these little germ hideouts? Well, across dozens of studies, it's the same culprits that pop up again and again. Your fingertips, your thumbs, and your wrists. These are the exact areas that pathogens love, and they're completely missed by a quick, sloppy hand rub. And what about time? You think we're doing any better there? Oh boy. One study actually clocked the average time for a hand rub at just 9.8 seconds. The recommendation is 20 to 30 seconds. We're not even halfway there. It's basically a drive-by hand rub, and it's just not cutting it. So yeah, this all sounds pretty discouraging, I know. But what if the solution isn't more training, or more posters, or more people watching you? What if the real answer is to actually do less, to make the whole thing simpler? I mean, think about it. We blame individuals for having bad technique, but what if the technique itself, that perfect six-step ideal, is just too complicated and takes too long for the chaotic reality of a hospital ward? What if we've accidentally designed a process that sets good people up to fail? Let's look at the evidence, because it's pretty stunning. One study put the six-step method head-to-head with a simplified three-step version. And wow, the results speak for themselves. With the simpler method, compliance went up a bit, sure, but look at the quality. It's skyrocketed from under 13% to over 51%. That means people were 4 times more likely to do it right. And other research totally backs this up. Another study found the three-step method took half the time. It achieved pretty much the same level of microbial reduction, so it was just as effective. And get this, 2/3 of the staff actually preferred it. So it was faster, just as good, and people liked it more. That's a win-win-win. The takeaway here is crystal clear. When you simplify the process, you see a dramatic improvement in performance, and you don't have to sacrifice patient safety to do it. It kind of suggests that our quest for a perfect, complicated technique might actually be our own worst enemy. And all of this brings us full circle, right back to where we started. It forces us to ask one last, really provocative question about what it is we're actually measuring, day in and day out. If you look at where our institutions put their energy, it looks a lot like this. The vast majority of our time, our effort, our resources, it all gets poured into auditing compliance, the what. And that leaves a tiny sliver for assessing quality, the how. We are obsessed with a number that we now know is deeply misleading. Let me just say it plainly. We are meticulously measuring the action, but we are almost completely ignoring the effectiveness. We count the gestures, but we don't actually measure the protection. And honestly, that should worry every single one of us. So I'm going to leave you with this one question to take back to your teams, to your next leadership meeting. If our audits and our beautiful 93% compliance charts only create a false sense of security, then what are we really protecting? Are we protecting our patients? Or are we just protecting ourselves from a very uncomfortable truth?